Hey, hey, hey! Welcome to Sunday Morning Live. Here to support our Thrive. Happy Easter, everyone. Happy day of the resurrection. Have I got a treat for all of you? A message streamed through this morning. I got up early to watch the sunrise. And hey, hey, hey! Welcome to Sunday's message. Today is my Monday. How strange. So at this time, I'd like to just ask that I'm a clear and pure channel to bring through messages from Source Divine, loving and kind, here to support our greatest and highest manifestation in this lifetime via the pathway of heaven on earth, which is a calm central nervous system. So, how's everyone doing? Whew, sorry. Yes, new schedule, Sunday to Thursday. So, a little more, we'll see, a little more inclusive to, having a life sort of outside of the job. Apologies for not connecting here live last night. Yesterday was a bit of for lack of a better word, a shit show energetically. And I found myself rather emotional, and for most of the day, there was a lot of energies at play in the home front as well. So once again, it feels like the divine masculine is, struggling, if you will, to level up and stabilize in the new energies. And yesterday, there were moments when I really felt shaken by the energetics at play. And it actually started Friday night. So I was off yesterday as well. I got one day off before the new shift starts. So yeah, that's why we didn't come yesterday live. I do want to share with you a lot of guidance I've been getting about the astrology of this weekend, in fact. First, though, I'd like to share with you a message that flowed through this morning between 7:57 a.m. and 8:02. It then continued between 8:08 and 8:11 a.m. So here is the message we get on this day of the resurrection. The Christic flame has risen within the feminine and masculine. And it's really funny because each time I wrote masculine, which was twice, I believe, my pen gave out. My pen struggled to write masculine. And in this first time writing it, the spelling was off, and it's in two different colors. So it really feels like the masculine, again, as I said, it's this leveling up. The feminine has been holding this sacred space for quite some time, calling in, welcoming home the divine counterpart. So there is, again, we're still in this wobbledy whoop. So let me just start that again. The Christic flame has risen within the feminine and masculine who are living. Divine union within, divine reunion with the other. Sacred lovers, alive and rising, each day shining as only the unique expression of Source can. Yes, you can. Start again. Here now in the precious eternal moment. Crowning glory of love's eternal story. Solar, SOULAR, return of the Christ light is now. Take a bow. Do not bow down. You did it. You are doing it. Love is winning as the human now living. Eternal soul, welcome home to the source of all life that lives within. Christ consciousness rising again. Thank you for shining. You are a delight, born for the same, divine birthright. Glory, glory, share your healing story. So that flowed through in 5 minutes. And then again at 8:08, so about 6 minutes later, this came through. Eternal loop, Trinity restored, divine feminine, divine masculine, rising in unison. 888, abundant floodgate, overflowing. Hold how beautifully you have been growing. An abundance of seeds sown and tended to are now blossoming and growing. Keep going. No more heave hoeing. 333, the sacred feminine welcomes reunion. Opening, welcoming, settling into ease. Breathe. So those are the messages, or that is the message so far that has come through from Source on this day. Hi, Elaine, welcome on this day of the resurrection. And it really feels as if the divine feminine has been appointed for this time to hold the space for the divine masculine to rise in order for the reunion of the Christic feminine and the Christic masculine in union to co-create as the divine. Because this has been this story has been a lie through eons of time. The masculine does not rise without the feminine, and vice versa. The feminine does not rise without the masculine. And of course, these journeys of the resurrection all take place within our personal experience in the third dimension. And if we're really, really lucky, and most of us are really, really lucky, we will be reunited with the divine counterpart in this third dimensional experience. So there's that. Okay, so there's been a lot going on in the last couple of days. And it actually started for me back on April the 8th. And so that's 12 days ago when, oh, that's interesting that I'm bringing it up today because I haven't really had a whole heck of a lot of time to really sit and intuitively tune into it. I'm just in awe of the what do I want to say? The intensity of the psychic gifts and abilities that are opening within each of us at this time. And we are so guided, and it's almost like a treasure hunt, and X marks the spot. It's our heart. So we're always guided back to our heart. This is the most sacred spot in the world for each of us. And so, on April the 8th, I was outside. It was late at night. Let me see, because I took a snapshot or a screenshot on my phone because I was just so flabbergasted. I was really dumbfounded by what I had stumbled upon or perhaps been guided to. So it was at 11:56 p.m. And I had the Star Guide app open because I was just, I often do that. I'll open it up and just see what I'm looking at. It's usually the same stuff. But this particular night, I was guided to hold my phone down. So I wasn't pointing it at the sky. It was, I guess I had pointed it down, and then something caught my eye. And what caught my eye is it's called beta grus, Grus. And I thought it said beta guru. So I'm like, oh, what's that? Let me open that up and look at it. So beta grus is a star in Grus. It's below the ancient southern fish. So we've had so much activity in Pisces recently that it hardly feels like the watery energy really tempered the fiery energy of Aries season, which is behind us now. We are now in Taurus season. So where did Aries season go? It still kind of feels Piscean, doesn't it? Because we've been healing through and clearing through some thick and dense, tumultuous, if you will, emotional waters. So I'm just going to share with you about this star. And then in coming days, I trust I will be guided back to it because 1111, the synchronistic messages around one of the particular messengers here is off the charts, all up in my space for days and in really magical ways. So below the ancient southern fish, Pisces, lies the striking figure of Grus the crane. So heron has been all over the place. Yeah, it's everywhere. And so this is really, heron really represents our spiritual wisdom and our ability in this lifetime. And in fact, the entirety of our purpose in this lifetime is to ground and anchor our spiritual knowledge into the now via the pathway of healing, our own personal healing, which helps us to uncover and rediscover the wisdom that has always lived within the experience. I keep getting these days, poetic, prophetic prophet. No, poetic prophet. So I actually don't really feel that I'm going to share more of this, with the exception to say that this star is in the constellation that is shaped like a crane. And, it doesn't rise. So it's always below the horizon here in the Northern Hemisphere. And so it doesn't rise, it doesn't set. And I really felt that at the time, I was just looking through to see if there was anything else. At the time that this came through, or that I stumbled across this, it really felt like confirmation of the leaning into, or perhaps the stepping off of the cliff of the sacred fool. We are the modern day mystics. I trust that you're here. And if you resonate with anything shared here, it's almost a guarantee that you are an ancient mystic here for these modern times to reestablish your connection to your greatest and highest gifts that want to be reborn into this lifetime, this timeline where everything is shifting. So this weekend we have Mercury moved into Aries on April the 16th. So 4 days ago, Mercury moved into Aries out of Pisces. And we may have felt communication begin to move again, but that communication may have been quite fiery, and it may have been stinging, if you will, had a sting to it, a burn. This weekend, today, actually, we have the moon in Aquarius, we have Mars in Leo, and we have the sun in Taurus, and they are all at 1 degree 12 minutes of their respective signs. And this feels like potential, the potentiality of the building block, clearing blocks. So the building blocks are you and I, and we're clearing the blocks, the blockages that we have held within our sacred skin. And then I had written, so heron has been coming up a lot. You'll see it says heron. I wrote heron and then wrote whole leg in. Spiritual weaving in the material, sensual, healing. The sun, Pluto, and Mars are supporting our ability to reveal the shadows within so that all may be healed. And remember, as we do our personal healing in our daily life via the pathway of divine responsibility, we support the healing of the collective as well. So don't ever feel that the work you're doing has no purpose, serves no purpose, because it does. Everything we do is purposeful. Saturn, so Saturn is conjunct the north node of the moon, which is the dragon's head, our future. Good day, Kiva. And it's Saturn is reflective. The north node of the moon is really about the evolutionary path of humanity. HUEMANITY. So this is about slow and steady progress. And we live in a time where it's all, those of us who are a little bit older, we've had to wait for good things to happen. We've learned the value of growing patience as we save up money for something we want or desire or even need. And so it's this quality about ourselves that really support us in moving through this time, because we tend to feel that in the spiritual, it's everything shifts on a dime, and then as the astrology does, but things move slowly. And we're now into Taurus. Earth energy is slow moving, and yet it is slow and steady progress toward the desired outcome. And that can be tricky, and we can trip ourselves up in this earthy energy with overthinking. Now, Taurus governs our neck. So this, it feels like communication. And then I just heard sticking your neck out, not getting our head chopped off for sticking our neck out and speaking truth, sticking our neck out and saying what we know to be true, not just for ourselves, for the greatest and highest good of all, who all also live under and within the same spiritual truth. So I was guided to write slow, steady progress. Do not regress. Invest in you. Chaos is the paradox. God, Goddess, and Great Spirit. So it's, in our own experience, it's really about creating divine order or reestablishing divine order in a life that has seemed very chaotic. And when I say seemed, that doesn't mean it hasn't been. Yes, absolutely. Our lives have been chaotic, and they've been traumatic and dramatic and all kinds of crazy. Saturn is encouraging us at this time to reflect as we manifest that which we deeply desire. And so, in recent days, just prior to starting my shift at work, I've been heading down to my little hideaway by the lake. And really, I've done a lot of little short videos and stuff, reflections on the water, whether it's the play of light or whether it's the shadow of a piece of driftwood sticking out of the water. And as I was pondering and just watching this, the reflections of this log on the water on Friday, two heron flew right in front of me. Unbelievable. Let me see if I can just find you that part of the video, because it was so, I just caught it out of the corner of my eye. That's it. No, that's it. I just caught it out of the corner of my eye. And so this is what I was watching, like the driftwood on the water. And so let me see if I can just show it to you, because it was so beautiful. Like they were literally right by me and I didn't even notice them. So it's got to be this video. Okay, yeah, here we go. So here, watch. Look at that beauty. It may not show so great here, but there were two of them. So magical. And so again, it was like confirmation. It was like confirmation that you're on the right path. You're, focus on self-care. And, like back in the day with this channel, with so many things, I used to put so much pressure on myself to, oh my gosh, I said I was going to be live, and I would work against myself in many ways, because I would show up, and yet, I would show up when the call was for rest. So last night, as the calls started coming in to rest, because I really could not settle myself, it was 20 to 10. And, it's like time's getting closer to the live. And all the inner guidance was like, go to bed and rest, sweet child, just rest. Put this day to bed. And so that is what I did. And so I feel like little things like this, it may not seem like much to someone else, and yet it's a big deal. It's a big deal because it's an act of self-love. It's an act of trusting the inner knowing and acting in alignment with the inner knowing. So as Saturn asks us to reflect as we manifest, there is a karmic to destined turn of the wheel, to the wheel of fortune, the wheel of abundance. It's a lucky turn of this wheel. We are the medicine wheel. Expect the unexpected, perhaps volatile and turbulent energetics. And that was exactly what I had experienced yesterday. Awareness and discipline diffuses the explosive nature of this energy. Reflection allows us to receive revelations. Creative and expressive recess, like recess playtime at school. Creative expressive recess. Within the recesses, we rediscover ancient wisdom. This is our gift, and we were born to uncover it, unwrap it, rediscover it, and package it up in a way that fits today. we're either going to move forward with this energy or we're going to have a wipeout. So it's up to us. We can move forward or we're going to wipe out because the back heel is stuck in the mud and it's not going to let us move. No matter how we try to force it and pull it and yank it out, what may end up happening is we may fall flat on our face. So with the moon in Aquarius right now, the air sign that is the water bearer, which really feels, if I had to, we know Virgo is the feminine sign, the only feminine in the zodiac. And, if there was another energy that felt like the divine feminine to me, it would be the Aquarian energy. And so we have the moon in Aquarius, which is the divine feminine essence. And we have Mars in Leo, which is fiery strength, courage, pride in oneself and the community. And so there's an opportunity now, and it's happening energetically, whether we're aware of it or not, that the masculine and feminine, the divinity of the masculine and feminine, are merging beyond separation at this time. So the healing, this current healing challenge, if you will, that we're within, this current healing challenging energetic is full of potential, full on soul expression, full steam ahead on this, in this lifetime, on your planetary mission. And remembering that, our energy is infectious, whether it's a positive energy or a negative energy. We're going to draw to us and into our experience more of the same. And so that's so positivity, just like negativity, can spread like a virus of love, an energetic of love across this planetary realm, if and when we choose to be the energetic of change, playing the energetic game, if you will. And not a game in a way that's deceptive or deceiving. We don't have to lie, cheat, and steal our way through life. We can play this game of life, and we can play within this game of life with a childlike sense of wonder, which is exactly what we're meant to do. Seeing the wonder, if you ever look in a child's eyes when they experience something for the very first time, when they see something for the first time, this is how we are meant to really carry ourselves through life. And this morning when I went and caught the sunrise, I haven't caught a sunrise in quite some time. The last time I went, there was a huge bank of dark clouds at the horizon. Today, though, witnessing the sunrise, it was really the message that kept coming through was each day, each dawn of a new day is a blank slate, an abundant new beginning. And so it's up to us what we're going to do with each day. So let us be the infectious spread of right now we have this infectious spread of individualization, right? I'm a cat, I'm a dog, I'm a boy, I'm a girl, I'm a non-binary, I'm a, whatever. I don't even know. It's so ridiculous. I don't pay much attention. This energetic, though, is like a mob mentality, right? We're all so terminally unique, that, everybody has to be accepting of my unique expression within limitations of sanity. Yes. So right now we've got this infectious spread of the individualization of the soul, which is like the hive, the mob mentality, the mob consciousness. It's not very conscious, it's quite numb, and it's quite numb and dumbed down, if you will. It's like group think, group speak, catchphrases. We'll circle back to it. It's at the top of mind right now, and we'll circle back. Oh, stop. Stop. I can't stand. So, we are the infectious spread of, it's a perfect top to wear for Easter, of the Christ consciousness that is rising. We are the infectious spread of the ascension journey, like our brother Jesus the Christ, or Yeshua the Christ, the divine masculine Christic light. The Magdalene was the divine feminine counterpart of that, to work in harmony and unison, caring for one another in partnership. And this is why the world has gone, it was 3113, so wackadoodle, because we don't have the feminine speaking truth. We don't have the feminine standing in her power, nor is the masculine in this very hour. So this is the Taurus season, really feels like the pathway to balance via the temple that we are. And look at that, XXX, 1X. All those X's are 10, 10, 10, 10. And we are the one that supports the wheel of fortune to spin in our favor. It has been destined that this is what is meant to be for us, for humanity. HUE. And it was destined by the Creator. And I'm feeling guided to move that I onto the other side. So that was an I, not a one, but you know what I mean. To move the I on, to move one of those I's on the other side of the X. And, again, through us, we are the gateway of abundance. We are the floodgate. And the Creator, we are the Creator's masterpiece. And it's so funny because I was just typing from the book, my book, last night. I was retyping out the second chapter. And the second chapter was really talking about us being God's masterpiece. Let me see if I can find it with ease here. No, I'm not going to. I'll save that for another time. So we are in the early stages of the revolution of consciousness, the evolution of consciousness via the pathways of love, via the path, allowing ourselves to be the paintbrush in God, Creator's hands, allowing us to be the pen in Creator's hands, allowing us to be the instrument, the flute, whatever it is, in Creator's hands, and allow Creator to guide us to our full-on spiritual expression in this lifetime. It's time. It's really time to leave guilt and shame and blame and fear and feelings of insecurity and lack of self-worth. Oh, sorry. Behind. I don't know if there's a lot of energy in here, and I could be a little bit tired because I was up early. I didn't want to miss the sunrise. So I feel like one of the big messages today is, again, this is like living as the temple of Creator that we are, co-creating with the divine, Let's see if another card wants to come out here. Spending time in reverence, destroying the illusions, moving beyond the illusions, and restoring integrity to the righteous, that which is righteous, that which is true. The obstacles have always been within you. They've been within us, all of us. And yes, there may be external challenges. The biggest challenge is always overcoming the I would say overcoming our feelings of self-worth and self-doubt. So this is speaking of the sacral chakra. It's funny, I just took the amber off my neck, but I've had this massive chunk of carnelian sitting out beside on my dining room table where I tend to do a lot of my writing. And it's wanted to be right there so I could put my hand on it. It fills my whole hand. And this speaks all about the emotional waters, right? The emotional healing. And like I said, it's almost like we kind of jumped over Aries season. And then we may have got a bit of a taste of Aries energy coming in on the 16th when Mercury moved into Aries, which stirred things up a bit. And perhaps what it stirred up was all those unhealed emotions that had been coming to the surface or bubbling up through Venus's retrograde in Pisces, through Pisces season and eclipse season, and the nodes changing and all this kind of stuff. What a time to be alive. And we are the ones that are destroying anything that's not true. We are within us. And so then, as we connect with the things that may not be true, the things that may be hidden, but everything is hidden in plain sight right before our very eyes. Those look like owl eyes in there. And our ability to see the light within the dark, the light within the shadow, our willingness to shine our light within the shadow, which may at the surface appear frightening. Thank you. The crone. We've got lots of 10s here today. So we have 23, divine masculine. We have 29, which comes to 11, which is the path of mastery. We have 22, which is a master number. Again, the path of mastery, the building blocks, stepping up, leveling up. We were told that over here, right? Slow and steady progress. Do not regress. Invest in yourself. And when we don't see things right away, when things, when the abundance stream isn't flowing, through our door, instantaneously, we're like, we want to give up, right? Like, oh, well, this is, I thought it's meant to be abundant. I'm meant to be abundant. It's coming. Trust me, as one who has lived, scraping the bottom of the barrel for much of my life, the rise is coming. I can feel it. I see it. I'm encouraged and excited by it. Stay faithful. Faith isn't something we have. Faith is who we are. Faith in who we are encourages us to keep growing as the floodgates begin to flow in our direction. The crone, the wise one, the one who sees the magic and it's a 13, so it's the one who sees the magic in all things. It's the death card in the major arcana. Transformation, 13 is the number of the divine feminine. The divine feminine, ladies, we're used to this. We've done this time and time again through eons of time. We are the wise women, the sacred Christed feminine here to rise and restore balanced harmonics between the masculine and the feminine in this lifetime. And it's been a bumpy ride. It has not been easy. And yet here you are. Here we are. We have never given up. We continue to trust our heart. We continue to go forward, sowing seeds of love, which when we tend to them, they grow. And so everything is beginning to come to life. Slow and steady progress. It's funny that 13 comes up, and we've been conditioned to believe it's a bad luck number, it's evil. It's the number of the divine feminine. We've been led astray to believe that, there's something wicked and scary about women. The fact that women bleed, only women bleed. Let's just say that. I mean, yes, men, you can bleed from a cut, but you don't menstruate like we women do. It's a feature that is unique to the woman. It's like the nectar of life, our womb. Only women have wombs. Only women have wombs, although men have an energetic space where they are called to co-create, and that would be the sacral chakra, the sacral chakra, the space between our hips, your hips, the man's hips, and this is how an archaeologist would determine whether you're a man or a woman 100 years from now. It would be within the hips. The space between the hips would determine that this person who once lived was a woman, and this person who once lived was a man. So it's as simple as that. It doesn't really have to get convoluted, but again, with this infectious spread of individual expression, the terminal uniqueness that has infiltrated our society via the mob/hive unconscious mind, has got things warped. Okay, so the womb space, the nectar, the creative space, the fluid, flowing like the river. And I love that there's a reflection here of a horse, the dark horse coming out, running through, taking those shackles off, taking those blinders off, and seeing through the goo, seeing through the bullshit of the transhuman agenda. Are you kidding? I mean, who knows? Like we're made of stardust and magic stuff, and yet the agenda that's at play on this planet is rather nefarious. And that is why you and I have gathered here today. That is why we continue to gather with one another to encourage and support one another, to speak up, to stand up, to stick your neck out. Allow your voice to be heard. Allow your healing story to be, allow yourself, be brave enough to share your healing story that supports the rise in glory of our siblings, of our sisters and brothers. Again, this just really feels I'm being guided to here where it said, reflect and manifest. Reflect and manifest. Karmic to destined turn of the wheel. We are the medicine wheel. And we are the ones who free ourselves. We are the ones who are encouraged to come out and have some fun. Let's just get a couple of these cards and then a couple of these. So we're going to start with the spirit of the wheel, because we have just been told we are the medicine wheel. And our healing is the medicine this world needs. It's true. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Oh. All right. The butterfly clan, mental clarity, awakening, beauty. We already got the message in the Easter message today, the 888. The floodgates of abundance are open and flowing. We are transforming. We are here to transform via the pathway of transmuting and healing our own pain. Restoration of the sacredness within every living being. Stone of the ancestors, we are guided. We're receiving this higher guidance, and it's always a choice. 5 is about change. We can choose. What did it say here? The moon in Aquarius, the divine feminine energy, and Mars in Leo, the divine masculine energy, are merging at this time beyond separation. This healing challenge is full of potential. So we want forward movement. We're not here to wipe out. We're not here to fall on our face and get mud all over ourselves. We're not here for that. We are being elevated to higher ground, if you will, via the pathway of higher love, good choices. And the higher good is not just, it's the higher good isn't personal gain. It's not monetary. It's not material. It is spiritual. And the higher good, the greatest and highest good, is all encompassing. It encompasses all of us, each of us here to fill our own cup via the walk with our own shadow. Look at that. Lessons, growth, and trust. Lessons in love. As we confidently accept the role of master co-creator in our life, we pass the peace pipe of knowledge and wisdom on to others so that they too may rediscover the joy and wisdom, the sacred medicine that lives within. Oh, there's a reason they took me to the bottom of the deck. The Turtle Clan. Turtle, again, Mother Earth energy. Honoring rhythms and cycles. Steady progress. What did I write here? Slow and steady progress. Do not regress. Solidity. This is divine masculine. The feminine, we're pretty good for the most part. I would suspect at grounding yourself. Perhaps some of you need some help with that. Or more practice. It feels like it's a little bit more challenging for the masculine. Like the masculine feels like they're very solid in their solo journey, right? Solid on my own. Just like the divine feminine, solid on, we're able to do it on our own. And yet that wasn't the intention for us in this lifetime. I just have to open the window. I'm starting to heat up here. So it feels like, again, as the feminine, we're being called to hold space for the masculine so that they can level off and level up via the pathway of change. And there's big changes taking place on this planet, big changes in all of us. And thank you for doing the work that is required, right? It's not for the faint of heart, and it's not for the weak-minded. Here we got the Death card again. Transform, the divine feminine. It's funny. Today, when I came back from the lake and took the big dog out for a walk, there was a solo vulture flying overhead. And every time I connect with the vulture, It's the same message comes through, that death and rebirth takes place within the same space. And so we're undergoing this transformative time. We then have number 12 that came out, the insight card. And as soon as I connect with this card, I'm feeling the energy of Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin, the Bodhisattva of compassion. She leaves no souls left behind. She walks this planetary realm with us, um, and will remain and continue to do so until all souls awaken to their true divinity, divine royalty, each and every one of us. Um, and Kuan Yin comes with, again, it's like the feminine essence of the Christ, right? The Christed light in divine feminine form. The promised land, new beginnings, grounded, getting grounded and rooted, again, double ones. And then intuition, the 1 2. 1 2, buckle my shoe. 3 4, shut the door. 5 6, pick up sticks. 7 8, you're not late. 9 10, begin again. Something like that. Yeah, so Kuan Yin, is all about compassion and gentleness, like truly the divine feminine essence, the divine mother, the sacred lover of life, nurturer, all of this. And, oftentimes when I began to work closely with Kuan Yin about 12 years ago or so, I was really surprised when she appeared so clearly to me, because I was like, I'm such a compassionate person. I'm so compassionate to others. I'm very empathetic and very forgiving of others. And, the message I received, it's not about the others. This time it's about you. And so when she came to walk with me at that time, it was all about my own journey of compassion and gentleness with myself, because at that time in my life, I was still very much as tuned in as I've always been. I was a feminine, very much rocking the masculine. And still, I would say, there are parts of me out of necessity that have to show up in masculine ways, because the counterpart has not yet arrived. It's not yet been welcomed home. So, I feel like a part of this transformation is the call. There is a call for some gentleness here and some compassion as you remember God's promise. Look at that. How beautiful. We are all children of creation, children of Creator, each of us worthy and deserving just via the fact that we're here. There's nothing we need to do, and there's nothing here we need to fear. Yes, our counterparts are welcome home. New beginnings. Each day is this. Stay rooted, stay grounded, live your bliss. Look at that little hummingbird. And then this hummingbird, I'm sure I've shown you all before. Frank caught that picture of the little hummingbird going in for the fuchsia on his phone one day, and I just thought it was like a little angel coming in. So cute and such detail. Honestly, very beautiful. And hummingbird is, the messenger of joy, reminding us that joy was the intention for all girls and boys. And, when we look out into the world, quite honestly, I don't see a lot of joyful expression in the world. Very few children play outside anymore. Everybody's got one of these devices in their hand that's guiding, listening to everything, guiding and directing the mind, that hive mob mind, the unconscious. We're here to regain consciousness. We're here as the resurrection of the light through our through our ability to stay grounded as the rivers of life flow. We extract the nectar of life as God uses us as his paintbrush, his pen, his instrument of beauty, of co-creation, of abundance. We honor ourselves as the vessel of the divine alive at this time. Daily devotional practices greatly support our expansion as we welcome in all the riches and abundance and the counterparts that are ours. We are wise, 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 and the wisdom flows from deep within our heart, deep within our bones. We know that we are the ones here to destroy the illusions, the delusions, and restore righteousness and sanity to this planetary realm as we transform, ever guided by our loving ancestors, our loving creator, our legions of light, our angels, and of course the messengers that we connect with here in our day-to-day life. For me, it's the winged wise ones a lot, and of course my pets. But, you know, I just really feel guided today as we wrap up here to say, slow and steady wins the race. Do not regress. Invest in yourself. The evolution of humanity is taking place through each of us at this time. And chaos is the paradox of the merging of the gods and goddesses, the masculine and feminine, coming together to allow those inner children to come outside and play. With that being said, beautiful sisters, dear brothers, I see you, I feel you, I love you. Thank you so much for showing up, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you back here again tomorrow at 10:10 a.m. We're changing it up again. Everything's always changing. We're always in motion, so we will be live at 10:10 a.m. tomorrow morning. It works best. It fits. And so until then, I wish you a day full of bliss. I see you. I feel you. I love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.